Here we go.
So do we want to go?
Okay. See all you guys?
Come in just a little more, guys.
Okay. All right. Okay, everyone, I want to welcome you today. This is about best practice CIT. And what I'm going to do for you today, well, first of all, I want to say this is not an April Fool's Day thing, okay? So this is like real stuff. And my name is Ginger Phillips. We are the Advocates Gone Rogue. We don't belong to any agency, nonprofit, corporation, coalition, none of that. We're here on our own. We released a press release, which I'm going to read part of it, about the crisis intervention team training for law enforcement, corrections, and to have the collaboration with the community, with peers like me who have lived experience, and just family members and mental health professionals. And behind me, there are 5 speakers who are going to be talking about their lived experience and their interactions with law enforcement in the past. And I will say right now, the Salt Lake City Police Department and Unified Police Department will tell you that they are providing these trainings. And that is great for the basics. For de-escalation, that's great. When I am having symptoms, though, of mental illness and need officers' help, I want an officer who knows and recognizes mental illness and how to help me get treatment instead of deadly force. In the past few months, local media has reported a significant increase in fatal shootings and unnecessary use of force, where individuals with mental illness have been involved. That could have been avoided with proper training to recognize the signs of mental illness and how to help my peers. The real focus here needs to be on the trainings, and not that the DA, district attorney, is looking into the fatal shootings that we are having. Last year, there was a decrease in homicides, and this is my dog. Say hi. No, but don't bark. Anyway, so there was a decrease in homicides, but there was a spike in fatal shootings by officers. What we want, though, is, like I said at the beginning, we want interactions and for best practice, because what's going on right now is not best practice. What is considered best practice right now is CIT International, but it is the Tennessee model. And many advocates and others who want best practice across the state of Utah have actually said that CIT with the Tennessee model is the best that we know now. But we are willing to interact or negotiate with different people about, hey, this could be best practice in the future. So the last thing I want to say is right now we are live streaming and on social media, using our profiles, which are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The hashtag that we're using right now is hashtag mental health awareness and hashtag police and community, capital UT. So check us out. Our request is that we work together as peers, family members, professionals, law enforcement, and the community at large to provide the best practice training and diversion system to address mental health crises. By doing so, we can make safer communities for everyone. If I or anyone calls for a CIT officer to respond, I am told they're all trained in crisis intervention. So I put on my crisis plan, I want the CIT officer to respond who has the gold pin on his lapel, because I know those are the individuals who have actually been trained in the specialized training. And one more thing, Sheriff Rivera did come out saying that there is a lack of funding for body cams for the protection not only of my peers, but it's protection of law enforcement and the community at large. And so with that, we need to find the funding, because that's just not okay, especially with the spike, okay? So anyway, I have these peers behind me. I'll let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about their interactions. You go, Jim.
Hi, I'm Jim Montgomery, and I have a mental illness, and I'm also a certified peer specialist. My interaction with the CIT officer was my experience with the CIT officer in mental health crisis was very helpful. I'm a certified peer specialist. I was working at the swing shift at a housing facility that houses the mentally ill, and had a peer that was struggling with severe symptoms. I had to call MCOT, Mental Health Outreach Team, and also called the law enforcement, on which I asked for a CIT officer to respond and help maintain everyone's safety. During this crisis, upon arrival, they came onto the property and was very calm and didn't aggravate our peer, talking softly with them, and which they did a very professional way, not agitating our peer, so myself and MCOT could determine if our peer needed to be hospitalized. Therefore, we made the decision and helped the client into the ambulance, which he was taken to the hospital and uni, then returning in a few days happy and stable. No one was hurt and no one was agitated in this process to help our struggling peers. We need more CIT officers trained for this situation for better outcomes for all of us. Thank you. Sincerely, Jim Montgomery.
Hi, my name is Antoinette Valdez. I'm living with a mental illness. I am also a certified peer support specialist. I started working as a peer support specialist as well as a Prime for Life instructor at a substance abuse treatment facility that also contracts Prime for Life DUI classes with UtahDUIclasses.com, and also taught through the CATS program at the Salt Lake County Jail. While teaching Prime for Life at the Salt Lake County Jail, I was sexually harassed by my then supervisor. I reported the sexual harassment to the CATS program's manager. She stated that she would contact the sergeant in the jail, the HR department at the substance abuse treatment facility, as I was instructed, and also to the sheriff. Sadly, this man suffered no consequences, as he is still facilitating Prime for Life classes at the jail and the treatment facility. It is absolutely possible to break the cycle of sexual misconduct. Stopping the cycle is a choice available to everyone. If we come together, collaborate with law enforcement, corrections officers, mental health agencies, government agencies, treatment facilities, peers, and family to feel safe in reporting sexual misconduct, and also to recognize the signs of PTSD surrounding sexual assault, sexual harassment, and rape with best practice CIT. Thank you.
My name is Rachel Hauer. I'm a certified peer support specialist. I'm a person with lived experience, mental illness, PTSD, TBI. I was a victim of sexual assault. My son got involved. The police did not come as peace officers. Things got out of hand. I actually thought the police were going to shoot my son. They didn't ask questions. They just started getting violent with him. He was coughing up blood the whole time he was in jail. We want to collaborate with police, peers, professionals, and community. We can save lives. I support the Gold Star best practice of CTI.
My name is Venus Weaver, and I'm a certified peer support specialist, and I am a person living with a mental illness. I struggle with communication when I have active symptoms, and often I cannot express my needs with the emergency response people. Often, when they are called in, I'm in a psychotic state and struggle to answer and respond appropriately when addressed. I have had officers and EMT personnel state that they have responded before and automatically stigmatized me and failed to help me de-escalate. The emergency personnel could have shown more understanding. Because I felt threatened, my response has been to react in fear. These officers could have collaborated more with local mental health providers, as well as learn from those who have live with a mental illness. Peer support can share and work with those responding to mental health emergencies and crisis. Being stigmatized and forced to the emergency department is not always necessary. And with education and collaboration, I feel that the emergency team can help de-escalate and possibly be understanding, and then I could remain in my home and not panic about being transported somewhere I don't need to be.
Adam Montgomery, certified peer support specialist. I was 19 when I returned home from my mission after being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Returning home was rough. I seemed to always be alone, and I was always talking to an audience who wasn't there. So I eagerly entered treatment downtown at a mental health missionary clinic. I made 2 goals for myself, right? First goal was to not have mania anymore. I did not like it. My second goal, never go inpatient. Those goals were tested. A few weeks after I started medication treatment, my parents came to me and they said they were going to sell my dog. That was a trigger. So I flipped over everything in the house as a protest and symbolic protest. My parents saw that I flipped over some medicine and I locked myself in a closet. So next thing I heard was a knock on my door. 4 police officers came in. And I was surprised. The first thing they said to me was, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? How are you feeling? I support any practice that allows these officers to respond in that way. I appreciate those officers helping me in that pivotal time in my recovery. Thank you.
I want to just say thank you to all my peers behind me. This is a very brave thing for them to do, and I do not believe they've ever spoken in front of a live camera. We've never gone live on things like this. So I just want to say I love you guys. You did such a good job. I wanted to just share a couple other things, some quotes that have been in the media that I want to make sure are addressed. Last November, one of the sergeants with the Salt Lake City Police Department said his department has focused on using de-escalation tactics where officers attempt to calm a situation or an agitated suspect without using force. Still, he said, officers who shoot do so in response to someone else's behavior. Ultimately, it's the suspect's actions and reactions that cause the officer to respond. His main quote that he said was, officers have all the power to detain, arrest, ask questions, and ultimately take someone's life. I just wanted you to hear that. I do also want to say that other jurisdictions and police departments are breaking away from the UPD. And the more that we have a fragmented system, the less likely we are to have the best practice CIT if everybody's just doing what they think is best. And that's why we want collaboration. The second thing is police chiefs is another quote with Tom Ross, who is the chief of police, and he is the Utah Chiefs of Police Association. He's the president. Police chiefs across the state are concerned about the rising number of officer-involved shootings in Utah. These are direct quotes that I'm hearing in the media, and it's not just one site. Tom Ross, chief of police, like I said, this is not something we want to see. It's devastating to families, devastating to law enforcement. Ross said he wants to create more dialogue about officer-involved shootings, why they happen, and how to prevent them. I need to go on with what he said so that I can clarify. He said since 2014, there's been an effort in Utah to teach officers about de-escalation and emphasize that confrontations with the public should be resolved without the use of force. Still, he said, it appears to him that there's more willingness in the general community to push back against authority. Making things more complicated, he said, is that more people who interact with police are on drugs or have a mental illness, which can make it even more difficult for police to safely de-escalate a situation. One of the quotes that is very disturbing to me is this: "You can't reason with them." I'm not really sure what he means by that, but yeah. So I just want to say that I grew up with police officers. They were part of my family. My mom worked with the police in the office of the chief of police in the Bay Area. I'd go down there and, hang out with some of the different officers who were over volunteers and some of the different programs. I'd go sit in the chief's office and hang out and talk to him. So I really do like officers, and but I will say I had been at the Capitol with Chief Ross, where we've had yelling matches over best practice CIT, and that shouldn't happen. Many people always say that this is political. It's not political. This should not be partisan. So we need to get rid of that narrative and collaborate more. So I thank you all, and so we just want to end this just by saying thank you for being here. All the people who are live, we'll see you soon. Okay, thank you.
Very good. Really good. Wow.
Oh, I didn't do it right.
Good job.
Forgot to start it.
Yeah, I hope they don't understand how to do the I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't comment that I'm like. I know my last name. Sometimes I forget. There's like a little.
It went good, you guys. I love you. Say bye, everyone. Come say bye to my camera. Bye. Hey, bye. Say hi. Say bye, Rachel. Bye. Say bye. Bye. We did it. Say bye. 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 Okay. Thank you.